Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now I've decided that in between certain hardware arriving for videos on this channel, I want to upload benchmarks with specific graphics cards in specific games. Sort of like you see over on the Zworms gaming channel from Crispy. Love those videos by the way. And I just thought I could be doing something else with my time while I'm waiting for stuff to arrive. So without further ado, we're going to be looking at the GeForce 310 today, taking on GTA 5, which is years old yet still sits in a top 10 position within the Steam most played survey. So the GeForce 310 is as bad as it sounds. It doesn't even get a GT or GTX title. Think GeForce 210. This one has 512 megabytes of DDR3, so it could be worse. 16 cores, so you can imagine where this is going, and driver support ended at version 342.01, which was many years ago. So let's get into GTA 5 and see how low we have to go. Alright, so the GeForce 310, bit of a slip up there, is paired with the i7-7700K, one of my older quad-core 8-thread CPUs, and 16GB of dual-channel DDR4 RAM clocked at 3000 megahertz. So the card itself, as you can see here, does have a little bit of room in terms of overclocking, but we're not going to touch that because I did that just now and it sent the card into absolute meltdown mode. The frequency actually dropped in games. It did not like it at all. I had to remove the card from the system and then reinstall the drivers. So we're going to leave things as they are, but this really isn't going to change much, the core clock increase or a memory clock increase. So we're sticking at the stock 589 and 790 speeds, as you can see with driver 34201. So as we jump into the settings, first of all, I'd like to remind you that this card costs just £5 from CEX here in the UK. They do have it in stock at the moment. The 512 megabyte one is £5 and the 1GB model is £8. So if you really want to push the boat out, then going for the £8 option with double the VRAM is going to be ever so slightly better, I guess, but I imagine it's still going to perform absolutely shockingly in any game newer than GTA 5. So as you can see, and as I'm sure you expected, we do have the absolute lowest settings. For some reason, it does say that we have 3.5GB of VRAM to play with up here at the video memory section. How I wish that were true, I really do. We'll jump into the game, and yes, the i7-7700K, even though the CPU itself isn't all that great by modern standards, it will be held back thanks to its core count. It's having absolutely no trouble with GTA 5, using around 25 watts of power. The biggest concern is of course the GeForce 310, pretty much maxing out all of the available VRAM here, or at least most of it has been assigned to the game, and this means that our frame rate is about 10 FPS, which makes it incredibly difficult to drive. The responsiveness is just missing. If I move the camera around, yeah, that's happening about a second after I actually move the mouse. I'm sorry if that's quite disorientating for any of you watching, but the fact of the matter is this is a diabolical way to play GTA 5. Is it that bad for £5? Well, that's a question you're going to have to answer for yourselves, but we're going to need to go even lower. Yeah, the lowest we can go is 50%, 640 by 360. Now, as you can see, the game has vastly improved performance-wise. This is somewhat playable, I guess. Coming from 11 frames per second, I have to admit that 21, 22, sometimes 25 FPS feels like 60 FPS in comparison to single digits, to be fair. I'm making my way up this hill because I want to get away from the busy Los Santos area in the hopes that our frame rate will improve. I think we'll just cut up the mountain. Look at the grass texture, absolutely phenomenal. In a way, I'm glad that Rockstar allow you to totally decimate their beautiful creation, because it means that a lot more people can enjoy this title. Sure, it's not ideal to play like this, I think we can all agree, but it does mean that if you've got a really low-end graphics card or you're waiting on a new GPU to arrive and you have to make do with that shoddy old £5 GPU you have in the drawer, well, you should be able to. And although it's an old game, it's still very popular, so I like to test it when and where I can. Let's get in this vehicle and drive up the hill, see if we can hit that magical 30 FPS figure once again. Shouldn't be too difficult now. This actually reminds me a bit of a PlayStation 2 game, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. I'm getting a bit nostalgic, to be honest. All I want to do is get to the countryside here. We're taking a bit of a silly way about it, but we're not going to get there like that, to be honest, are we? We're going to end up right where we started any second now. The grass texture looking absolutely beautiful. The jagged lines around the car really do stand out at this resolution. Look at that view over Los Santos. Absolutely beautiful. Let's remove the overlay and we can use that as the thumbnail. I'm sure there may be better opportunities for better thumbnails, but it doesn't come much more beautiful than that, does it? You're going to get similar performance from the GeForce 210, to be honest. It's going to be pretty bad, but I'm going to drop things down to 800 by 600 and then halve that as well and see where we're at. So join me, thanks to the power of editing, right now. Okay, so here we are again, this time at native 800 by 600 resolution. If we take a look at the advanced options, frame scaling mode is off, and performance, I guess, is okay. This is 800 by 600 stretched to the width of the screen, so everything does look a little wider. This is extra nostalgic for me, to be honest. It's hard to believe that this came out back in the days of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and to be honest, the fact it's so popular is a testament to the fun that you can have in this game. Maybe not like this at this res, that's for sure, but yeah, let's drop down. Oh, Michael's switched to shorts now. I must have loaded an earlier save game. So we'll get back into the settings. We will re-enable the frame scaling mode, and this time 50% of 800 by 600 is 400 by 300, so slightly lower than we were at before. And there we go, 40 FPS straight away in the middle of busy downtown Los Santos. I'm torn between the thumbnails I can use. I mean, if I remove the on-screen overlay here, that looks pretty good to me. It doesn't look half as bad in the recording as it does to my eyes, let me tell you. You've actually probably got it quite good viewing it through YouTube. Performance is improved. I can't imagine how easy it would be to get through any missions like this, to be fair. Going to be pretty hard to see what's going on. If I look at the second screen, I'm recording everything externally with a capture card and my laptop. There's not really any delay, and if I look at the second screen, which is smaller, it looks a bit better, so I can sort of play it without hurting my eyes too much while looking at the second display, which might be a good idea. Never had to play a game like that before, but there we... Why did you do that? Why do they just pull out in front of you? And then he comes after me as if... Right. See what you think of this. There we go. Look what's happened now. Oh wow, first person mode. Feels weirdly sort of responsive actually, despite the frame rate being all over the place. Oh, let's switch back to that. Yeah, not too bad. No, I feel a bit sick playing like that. Yeah, let's cause a massive explosion. What are you doing? Honestly, the driving in this game, I hope it's improved for GTA 6. Well, we dropped slightly below 30 FPS there at 600 by 300, but all in all, not too bad, and I think we'll leave it there because my eyeballs are on fire. As you would expect, if you have a GeForce 310 or you're looking to buy one for the low price of just £5 here in the UK at CEX, then you can do so in the knowledge that you'll be able to enjoy GTA 5, albeit as a pixelated mess, and who knows what else. If you'd like me to test any other games on this absolute beast of a card, let me know down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one when we will complete our i5 2500K gaming PC build. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.